It didn't do the 30 seconds thing, I guess. Okay. This is Leaving Scientology by Louis Repetto, and I am back for the second time. Yay. And I have some things I want to tell you about, and there are some things that I would like to announce as far as news for Scientology related news. This is huge. Danny Masterson was sentenced today to life in prison with chance of parole after 30 years. So this is, for me personally, I felt a huge relief um, from this. Like, I'm not sure exactly what it is about it that is making me feel this way. It's nothing I've experienced in Scientology. So this feeling like I feel like I'm affected by this um, sentencing that happened on Danny Masterson for his crimes that Scientology tried to cover up. And, um, well, they're being there's a civil lawsuit against Scientology now in order to really there's further information on that on Aaron Smith Levin's video, Growing Up in Scientology. He's doing lives every day. He's there. He was there at the sentencing. He's got very informative information. But Danny Masterson was sentenced today to life in prison with chance of parole after 30 years. And this was done by a system that I was taught as a Sea Org member when I was born into Scientology in 1982. I joined the Sea Org. Yes, I joined the Sea Org at age 17 and to Los Angeles Scientology base on Sunset Boulevard. Disconnected in 2013 from the Sea Org and from family, and was sent to St. Louis to live and by Scientology. And I never experienced any feelings like this. I had this other things that happened in the Sea Org when I did Scientology auditing, like where I had these certain feelings, like I thought I felt happy when I did this auditing in Scientology, but it turns out that it was just the same feeling over and over, but just magnified. And so this this current with Danny Masterson getting sentenced, um, and justice. I don't want to sound cliche, but for me, that the actual word definition of justice actually is occurring versus what L. Ron Hubbard told me was justice when I was in the Sea Org. He told me in the Sea Org through his lectures that justice is the group putting in an enforced moral code on a person. And that is what justice is. So in the Sea Org, that's what justice is about. But in the world out here, I call it in my mind, I call it the WOG world. In the WOG world, it's not like that. It's like actually people commit crimes and then the justice system puts them in jail. And that is, or, has, that's what I know. So that is like, it's a huge relief that this has happened. And I feel, I feel really amazed about how these two, three, several, I mean, gosh, so many people just just went at, like, just kept going. Like, I don't know if I could just keep going like that on that. Like, that is really very strong of them. I don't want to use a bunch of Scientology terms to describe what I'm feeling, because um, I'm having trouble like translating those. But I just want to say that I feel like that very, very strong of you, them, um, and that's just it's just been, I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I'm in shock, honestly. I am totally in shock about it. I feel, but I not in the definition of shock, like where I'm um like cold or something. And but like what the hell is happening in my mind right now? There's like this Danny Masterson was doing things, and Scientology knew about it and then didn't disclose it. I need to find out more about this, and in the legal lawsuit, I listened to Aaron's videos on it, but I will get back to you on this, and I'll have this all squared away for you exactly what this all means as we go through it again, because this is just the beginning of of real wog world justice, so to speak. And so what is actually justice, and not this weird thing that I used to also push onto other people, because I was always saying, do Scientology, do L. Ron Hubbard, like just follow that, to other people and helping them to understand it and go with that as well when I was taking care of staff and when I was training people. But part of this justice thing is that in Scientology, the justice is protecting the group. Protecting the group. That's justice. But I feel like there's a lot more to it than just protecting the group. What about like this person that's a victim? There's no like victims within the justice system of Scientology, as far as if they're a Scientologist. I'm not sure. Okay. Just I'm trying to explain what my understanding of what justice was in the Sea Org, and I'm just trying to unpack it a little bit for me, because a lot of this has been very hard for me to talk about, and I I'm still unpacking and trying to leave Scientology, like this prison of belief system that I feel like I'm sometimes trapped in. But this just this idea of justice, um Danny Masterson is getting justice. Like, it is really happening in the physical universe. It is like occurring, and we are living through it, and it is happening. I am I just can't believe this. It is just justice. It is amazing. So um yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into that. So, okay. I am Louis Repetto, and this is Leaving Scientology. What I want to talk about today is a little bit about who I am. I joined the Sea Org at age 17 to the Los Angeles Scientology base on Sunset Boulevard, and I disconnected in 2013 from the Sea Org and my family. I worked at the ASHO buildings, which were the big blue buildings on Sunset Boulevard. And there I trained people how to do Scientology on other people. And I also trained people how to get other people into Scientology. And there I trained, and I really do say I did supervise people. I was a supervisor, but also I trained people on, because there's lots of drilling that you people have to do. And I had to watch them and make sure that they were doing it exactly the way that L. Ron Hubbard said, and in the way the films were. So that was a huge part of my job, was getting them to do it. And then I was Asho at Asho. That's where I was working. One of my friends a few years ago sent me the Asho 2006 newsletter, holiday newsletter, and I was in it, and I was so excited because I am in another video that was on the internet. It was a BBC video that Mike Rinder did when he was still a Scientologist in OSA. I didn't know he was in OSA, but I knew he was a Sea Org member, and he was doing this whole thing with Celebrity Center, and then they were going through each of the buildings and videoing people, and I'm in that. I'm in the one in Asho, and I found myself on YouTube. That's actually how one of the ways that I started going on YouTube was when I was in the Sea Org. Thank you, YouTube. That's me right there. Sorry. Hope you can see that. I hope you can see that. That's a newsletter that I'm in. And I guess 2006, I was born in 1982. I was like 24. So, show closer. Anyways, so I'm pointing, I have a clipboard in my hand right here. And I'm holding, this is not the video. I have a clipboard in my hand here. And this is not the video that I was talking about where I was in this BBC video. It was like some expose on Scientology, and I thought it was favorable, but turned out it wasn't. But I was still in it, and I'm in it, and I had it. Even when I left the Sea Org, I found it, and then I lost it again, so I can't find it. Anyways, so then, oh yeah, so I was in tons of promotion in the Ash show when I worked there. So I used to train people. So then that's why I'm telling you about why I was training people. So because I'm in this picture. That's why. It's not like I care about it or anything. Here. Oh my gosh. That is okay. This is a course room that I used to work in 2006. I started working in this course room in 2004. I was not allowed to leave the course room from the time I called roll call, which is where I call off everyone's names and they have to say here or I in response to my question. John, Bill, I, and I say good, good. And we go down a big list and I say, okay, are you guys ready to start? And they're all like, yeah. And I'm like, I can't hear you. Are you guys all ready to start? And they say, yeah. And then I go, good, start. And I would model my start after technical training films that I was told to model everything off of. And even like down to walking, I was supposed to model like how I walk based on the films, Ultimate TRs being this film. Anyways, so that's me right there. Super soldier Lou. Just kidding. I'm not a soldier. Sea Org member, super soldier, Lou Repetto. And I wore the same uniform every single day. And it was really, I had to wash it like every day because I only had 3 of them. I ended up using my holiday pay to buy myself a suit from the local store that I found in near Hollywood Boulevard. And I bought myself a $60 suit, and my holiday pay was like $90. So I only had enough to buy like shampoo and stuff after that. Anyways, then that's me, and I'm in my blue ASHA uniform. This is not the picture from the video. I just want to repeat that. So I am this is a setup picture. This is, all set up, but this is typically how I look anyways, because I'm trying to look like that all the time, because at any time someone could walk by my course room and check and look in my course room. And if it doesn't look like I look like that, I get in big trouble. Or we get in big trouble. So I had to constantly look, not I had to look a certain way, like just like this. And I'm 24 there. Anyways, this is the course room that I worked in, and I worked in there from Monday through Friday at the American Scientology Organization, big blue building. And it was 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then I did other things in between those times. But that's when I was in this course room. So, and I was doing this supervising. So here in this situation right here, I'm overseeing this drill that they're doing, and I'm probably what I think would be likely doing here is, all right, that's it. I'm not sure. I can't imagine anyone smiling while I'm like saying, okay, that's a flunk. You just missed an instant read right there. Or that's a flunk. That's a prior read. Stop, get that. All right. Right there. Yep. So I'd say that's it in the drill. I'd stop them. And like, let's say this girl right here, she's trying to audit some person over here on the other side of this table. And it's just a doll. And these are students right here. I'm a supervisor. And this is a student. She's the student auditor. This is another person. And she is the student coach. I'm the supervisor. She has to follow a pattern, a script over here that you can't see. They are, I'm watching over all of this. I'm seeing every single thing like that's happening here on the e-meter and with the worksheets and everything like that. So I'll say that's it. We need to get these instant reads correct, Julie. Here's a pink sheet. And then we fix the fact that she's having a trouble pushing the instant read button on the simulator on the meter. That's exactly the way that she is trained to look at this. So she's trained to organize in her mind these meter reads that are happening in correlation to certain things that L. Ron Hubbard says will happen. And you have to, as a supervisor, I have to be able to see that the meter is not doing what is supposed to be happening in the session. So I need to say, that's it, and get Julie or get this student coach to correctly do the simulator so that this looks like a session for her. So when she goes into session, she can do it naturally. She can do it. It will be just like how she drilled it, because when I was supervising, in my mind, I just wanted my students to win at the course. I wanted them to do well. I wanted them to see that their pre-clears were doing better. And by auditing them with this technique, I wanted that for them. That made me happy to feel that like I'm helping her to be able to get gains on a person. with this Scientology technique. And I felt really good about it, you know, and at the time, I felt really good about it. Now I see what I was doing accidentally. I didn't realize what was happening here. I feel like this is a lot of hypnotism. Here, like the meter is confirming even to the auditor, not only to the pre-clear who's being audited, that things are real for them, or their answers, or just things they're talking about. These things are just like correlating. That, and the meter is really intricate to this whole process. And I particularly was very good with the e-meter. I taught the e-meter course, and I think there's something to do with this, where there's just like a lot of hypnosis that's going on, where the person is realizing that this Scientology is working. For the auditor, though, I think the auditor is like hypnotizing themselves or something. Haven't quite figured that out yet, but that is just on my ideas that are starting to do with that. But that's what I did. So I'd say that's it, and I'd get her to drill making these instant reads on the meter with a simulator. So I would make sure that she was doing it right. So I was just supervising the student and the coach, because I wanted to make sure when these students went into session, when they went into real life session with people, that they didn't do something that was going to, I wanted the auditor to do well. It's less about the person. When I'm less concerned about this person who this person's auditing, I'm more concerned about this auditor. That's what was on my mind, was this auditor, like making sure that they were doing it right, that they were succeeding with it and stuff. That was my job. Then, so back to what I was talking about. That's me right there. I'm still writing these pink sheets. I got a board right here, a clipboard, and it's got some pink sheets on it, like slips of paper that are pink. And I write the observations, and I say that's it. And I give, you know, I give the pink sheet to them, and then they do the pink sheet. They do things. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. They do stuff on the pink sheet, or they re-drill the simulator stuff in order to do this correctly. But first, I always check them out on what an instant read is first. I used to, anytime I had a new student come into my course room and they didn't, and they were not from ASHO, and they were doing a drill like this, and I saw that, I would instantly jump. Like, I'd be like, totally, what is happening here? I'd try to find, I would handle this instant read um, problem that these people were having when they were coming into my org and they didn't know what an instant read was. That was part of my thing. I used to write reports to Religious Technology Center about staff members that were trained at various places who came into my course room and they had misunderstood words on what an instant read was. And I figured it out by watching people and how they're pushing the button and what happens on the meter. And so I'm reporting all this stuff up to Religious Technology Center. That's what I did when I was at Delphi, Oregon. I went to Delphi, Oregon before I joined the Sea Org. And when I was there, I found something that wasn't right in the basic study manual compared to the original text that L. Ron Hubbard wrote. And I wrote that up to Religious Technology Center. Very young. I was like 16 at that time. And then, so later on, I'm in the Sea Org, 17. Later on, 2006, that's me in that course room. I'm sitting there all the time. I did supervise this practical, but I also supervised the theory part of it, and that was really cool at the time, only because it interested what I was interested in. I thought what made me really happy, which was like clearing up people's words according to L. Ron Hubbard's technology, which is to do all these things to a word in order to make it so that he says so that you understand it. But there's something he's not telling you, which I found out later in this course I did much later, that um, these misunderstood, all these clearing of the words and all of that, that has directly to do with Scientology auditing of your mind. So there's this course, St. Hill Special Briefing Course. And of course, I did that course as well when I was there because I wanted to know everything there was to know about Scientology so that I could do it on people. So I did the St. Hill Special Briefing Course. And in the misunderstood word clearing, he's saying that you can also do this thing to their case where it drops away, like these mental image pictures that are like stuck to the person are like, you can make those fall away and not be suggestive to them by doing this um word clearing that I was doing, which is like just supposedly doing these steps of what L. Ron Hubbard says to how to do word clearing. I need a drink of water. So yes, I I like to do word clearing on people, and I'm doing, and then I found out later that that just has to do with the Scientology part of your mind. That's like the unconscious mind. And what it does is when you do the word clearing, it it makes all of these pictures like go away. And for me, I felt that. That felt like that was the what was happening for me. I didn't even realize. I just when I was doing when I would clear a word, I would feel that way. And I always wanted to feel that again and again. This is the first time I think I've said this though. So bear with me, trying to wade through it. Thank you for listening and watching. Please subscribe and click the notifications button. It really does help. I've noticed I'm a longtime YouTube watcher since getting on the internet somehow by going into this area of the building that I could find and finding this internet thing that I connected to. That's how I used to watch YouTube. All the way to now. Subscribe and like to things and then unsubscribe to things and then like things and hit the notifications, and they've got different selectors on them and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I love YouTube. I've got the premium because it's ad free, but still money goes to creators and content creators, so we all win, right? Now, yes, I did a lot of word clearing, but so that's me, Louis Repetto. I was supervising in there. I was from 2014, 2004 till 2008 ish, I want to say. And, but I was doing all of this auditor training while I was there. And so that I could do these various actions on people. So you have to do all these different courses, and you have to jump through all these hoops and pass all these super tests they have you do and stuff. I passed all those, and then I was able to audit um, all kinds of interesting mind changing rundowns. I call them mind changing rundowns because I used to do this one mind changing rundown on people, and they wouldn't want to leave after that, the Sea Org. And but it was in combination with other auditing that we would do. But yeah, they just that like feeling of wanting to leave would disappear for them. And the way that the way that I saw what was happening was they were feeling the way that you feel when you think you've gone out of your body, you know? And all of these terms are related to Scientology, not necessarily to like, I'm not saying this is how some other, this is all Scientology stuff because this is all I know. This is the Scientology. I don't really know about astrology or these other practices. And even though I have been trying to find out about them, and we've been watching things and reading new things about stuff and other things. So it's been great. Leaving Scientology. That's part of leaving Scientology is actually looking at other things and finding that things are not the way that L. Ron Hubbard said they were. They're different. That's it. That's me. And while I did all these, while I was doing the training, I learned how to do confessionals too. That's a big part of Scientology, massive part. Like I'd say a majority of the part is that withholding, not withholding, reaching and withdrawing. Like he has all these different words for this, like one thing, like withholding, and he talks about it so much on especially on the St. Hall special briefing course. He's talking about this so much. Anyways, I became a Class 6 confessional auditor, a Duke of the Auditor Elite. That's what they called it in there. And I had a pin and everything. Oh my God. I probably was, I probably, I had friends though. We are all friends in there. I feel like I had friends inside there as a Sea Org member, like as a friend, not how I view a real friend now outside of the Sea Org. when you're when it's really you're depending on someone for some kind of support and you don't know what the support could be. That's what a friend is. They're just gonna be there kind of thing. That's like a new concept. Anyways, back to the Sea Org. I was in there, I was doing all these confessionals. I learned how to do them. I learned so many little tricks that L. Ron Hubbard suggested in his confessionals because he would do them on other people and you'd listen to them. I would listen to them as part of these courses, and I would just be listening to all these confessionals and how you do them, how he talks. That's how you want to kind of talk. And how in the film, how they talk is how you want to sound, when you're doing this and all these kinds of things. And you video yourself. I loved videoing myself auditing because I wanted to see, like how could I improve so that I could pass a video. I was always going to pass a video, and you have to do this perfect session on video and pass it by Religious Technology Center. By the way, I'll bring this up again in another video, I think for sure, but in order to get a suppressive person declare, the suppressive person declare CSW folder is actually a series of items that go all the way up to, including Religious Technology Center, including Senior CS Int. So those things, suppressive person declares are known by everyone, all the way up to the top. I don't know who in Religious Technology Center would be looking at it, but I know it does go there. It's on the routing form, and you put it on the top of the folder. I've seen Jennifer do them over and over, and I used to contribute to the information that would go into them. And it seemed at the time very, very hard to declare someone suppressive person when I was there. That's what I knew. I didn't know about I only knew about ASHO, and that was only that one building and then the base, but mostly my building, that's like 250 people that I knew. And of those, I could only talk to like 3 or 4 of those people, and like fairly okayly well, without getting a knowledge report. And then there was no one that you could trust. There's no one I could trust to tell anyone, especially if I wanted to leave, other than my friend at the time, who I did end up telling, and then he went to security and told on me, and that's how I got. Anyways, that's how it happened as far as getting out of the Sea Org. I was able to tell him. So yes, he helped me leave the Sea Org by going and telling security. It wasn't a bad thing. Other people could view it, oh yeah, well, he was just reporting on you. No, he was like, I'm going to take you to security and you're going to tell them everything that you told me. You're going to write it down. And that's what he told me. And that helped me to like launch out, like get some energy behind going out the door. And then 10 months later, I was gone. Finally disconnected and declared suppressive person out in the world, the WOG world, which is not so degrading as the way Scientology puts it. I've been finding out it's not degrading at all. It's amazing. And WOGs, the way the Scientology puts it, it's just is awful. But these so-called WOGs are actually just amazing. All the WOGs I've run into, even some that were questionable, like if I got robbed or something, but it's not that they would be a WOG anymore. It's just that anyways, there's been a lot of great people and that I'm meeting and talking to now. And it's been amazing. Have only probably talked to a total of 50 people about my story, other than a few times when I posted on the internet on Facebook, and then I took it down like 2 years later because I got so scared of what was gonna happen to me if Scientology found out, or they were like, they're obviously I'm gonna be putting something on the internet finally and stuff. And so I just got really scared about that. And I kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown. Not a mental breakdown, but in my mind, a Scientology mental breakdown is how I would say it, not the psychological one, because I don't know the definition of that in in the WOG world. But in the Scientology world, I felt like I had like a mental cave-in happen when I was worried about Scientology uh, coming, I don't know, doing whatever. And fair gaming me. I was really worried about it. And I just went through that for a few years. I felt like a year, 2 years maybe, where I had took it down and I was worried about it. And then I don't know where I was going with that, but I was so worried about it. And then I just kept talking to people like humans and stuff, like telling them about me and stuff, like, like really opening up to like a stranger. And and then just seeing what, and then they everyone's been just really amazing. I met these couple of people that they were like, well, you're so courageous. Wow, and I couldn't, honestly, in the moment, I couldn't believe them. I had an automatic Scientology response to them in my own mind, which was like, these, they're just making this up, you know, uh, to make you feel better or something like that. When, and then, so they're just making this up to make you feel better, is what I'm thinking to myself. So you have to just act like you feel like you can, like you thank them. You have to just thank them. So then I do that. I go like, I smile and I'm like, thank you, thank you. Um, and I didn't really know what to say. And then, so yes, I have been talking to people. It's been really amazing to talk to people, I would say, for sure. Yes. And I would love to talk to more people on the internet about it, like people I've never even met, or people who I haven't met in a long time. So that kind of thing. So other, I don't know. I'm just saying it would be cool to talk to people on live. And definitely looking forward to talking to someone who messaged me today and was saying, "Hey, do you want to go on a live sometime?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, give me a week." And then, so I've been talking live, and I'm going to be going off soon and going away. So let me look at the comments and see if there's anything. Okay. Aaron Pogie. Hi, Lou. Hi. Nice brochure. Scott, yeah. That's Guy in it. This is Scott right here. Hold on. This is like, I want to make sure this never gets ruined. I'm going to put it in a vault underground and make it platinum, like Scientology. That's Scott. Okay. There we go. Uh, Sorry, Scott. Anyways, yes, I got that from Scott. You, Scott. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what that says. Uh, I have nothing to gain from lying to make you feel better. You are so insightful, and this is such a different perspective from someone freshly out, and I appreciate you. Thanks. I don't know if I should. You are doing great. Stay calm. Okay, that's funny. You are doing great. Stay confident from a WOG. Yes, thank you. I've actually said WOG a few times in public when I was explaining something to someone, and they seemed to get upset about it when I explained to them the Scientology definition. And then in the present, I was trying to explain to them, no, I'm trying to say that I don't think WOGs, I think there's a new definition. And I'm doing something weird there with like mixing the terms and making like a hybrid term. I'm like, I got to get out of just saying WOG. But yes, I'll be saying WOG for a long time, probably. I've been trying not to for like 10 years, if you can think about that. LOL. All right. Nice looking fella. Scott Eiding, thank you. Smart. Okay, I don't know what that happened there. You're doing great. Thank you. All right, I'm going to be ending off soon. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.